What it do, cucks? It's the hater back again. It's Wednesday. I'm stuck at home. I typically work from home, so this is not new to me. But I also like to go out and get a coffee or something. But everything's pretty much closed down, so I ain't got nowhere to go, motherfuckers. So I'm gonna do a video right now. Now, this would probably mean that I'll be doing a lot of videos in the next few days. However, I am moving on Saturday, so I don't know how that's gonna go because tomorrow I have to pack, etc., etc., and Friday I have to pack as well. So we'll see how it goes. But once I get settled in, if this whole shit goes down, if it continues the way it has, then expect more videos from the hater because I'm bored, motherfuckers. I'm bored. All right, before we get to it, like I said, a few new subscribers this week, but only a few names appear. But since yesterday, I think it was yesterday, two new names have appeared. So we have a new subscriber, CM 2.0. CM 2.0 up in this bitch. Welcome, CM 2.0. And another new subscriber. This might surprise some of you. Technical Work Rate Productions, motherfuckers, has subscribed to the hater. If you want to be cool like the rest of my subscribers, you too should subscribe today. What are you waiting for? You know, this is the perfect time. Just like it's the perfect time to enter the stock market and short some shit down. Even though my WWE short isn't really working out because they haven't canceled Mania yet. My other shorts are doing just fine. Thanks for asking, cucks. So today we're going to be talking about something very near and dear to all of our hearts, right? We're going to be talking about 25 reasons why Orange Cassidy fucking sucks. Now, it feels like I've already done this video for some reason. Maybe I have. Maybe I've talked a lot about why Orange Cassidy sucks, but let's get to it, let's get to it. These are all pretty good reasons, I think. Reason one, he pretends to be Ryan Gosling, and Ryan Gosling is a cuck. You understand what I'm saying? So pretending to be Ryan Gosling is fucking stupid. That's what I gotta say about that. What do you think of them apples? You know what I mean? He comes out with the same shirt that Ryan Gosling wears sometimes, which is like a shirt with a picture of Macaulay Culkin wearing a shirt with Ryan Gosling on it. It's just clearly a pun on that. He has the same haircut, the same glasses, the same dumb face. I don't like him, And he pretends to be Ryan Gosling, and that's not cool. Reason two. This is probably the most important reason. He does the same fucking thing every week. You know what I mean? How do people like this guy? He comes out, does his little yes kick spot, right? And then usually gets clotheslined before the last kick. And then does maybe a suicide dive with his hands in his pockets. That's this guy's job. His job is to go out there, do a suicide dive, and then do the leg kicks. And he gets paid for that, motherfuckers. Can you believe it? That's just crazy to me. Anyways, that's reason two. Reason three. The fat beards like him, motherfuckers. The fat beards love this guy for some reason. I mean, I'm trying to think why. I think I know though. I think I'm finally getting it. He has some similarities, right, with the AEW fan. You know what I mean? But we'll get to that later. That's another reason. Reason number four. He is not cool at all, but people claim he is, right? This is like my least favorite, I guess, thing about him, right? It's the fact that people just want to just say he's cool. They're like, oh, this guy's so cool. And I'm just like, dude, if you can't explain to me why something is cool, then it's not cool. Keep that in mind, guys. If someone claims something, ask them, be like, explain it. If they can't explain it, don't listen to him. That's what I gotta say about that, motherfuckers. Anyways, reason five. He is often cited as an AEW star, which is weird to me because he is neither a star nor a real wrestler, Reason six. His gimmick is he doesn't care or try, right? This is a very big problem as well because if this guy doesn't care about being a wrestler, shut up, computer. If this guy doesn't care about being a wrestler or he doesn't want to try at his job, then the question becomes, why should I care about him? You know what I mean? Why should I care about a guy who doesn't care? Juxtaposition this with, let's say, like a John Cena or someone like that who comes out and says, like John Cena comes out and he's like, I do it for the fans. I love the WWE. You know what I mean? Like, he'll talk about how much it matters to him, right? Velveteen Dream, when he was in Tough Enough, he was like, yo, I really respect, admire, and enjoy the business, right? So, that's something that you could use to connect to the fans. It's like, yo, I'm a fan like you. I care just like you care. But he doesn't care. That's his whole thing. It's like almost an extension of the Young Bucks gimmick. It's like, yo, I don't give a shit. Like, this sport's fake, so why would I even give a fuck? that's kind of the idea behind it, in my opinion, you know? So there you go. That's what I got to say about that. But more so than me not caring about him, if he doesn't try, right? Why would I want to see him, right? It's like, all right, here's a match where the person that's going to be in the match isn't even going to try to entertain you, right? Or at least isn't going to try to do the thing that he's supposed to do that entertains you, right? He's going to do goofy shit, right? It's not even an extension of his personality. It's just like, that's what he does. He just comes out and does goofy things. He doesn't do moves, you know? So that's what I got to say about that right there. Cut. Reason number 7. He embodies the laziness of AEW fans. I think, as I said a little earlier, I think the reason why AEW fans like Orange Cassidy is because he reminds them of them. Now you're probably thinking, hater, how can Orange Cassidy, who's about 100 pounds, remind a fat 400-pound neckbeard about them? I'll tell you how. Because even though he's a skinny guy, he has that same laziness. You know, that same laziness that the 600-pounder has. Like, he doesn't want to try. He doesn't want to do his job. You know, he wants to, like, be cool without actually being cool. You know what I mean? And this resonates with a lot of fat beards, right? Kind of like how Kevin Owens resonates with them. It's like, oh, I want to be a fat wrestler too. And it's like, nobody wants to see you, you know? So these neckbeards are like, they're like, oh, I think it's cool that Orange Cassidy doesn't try. I also don't try. I think, who was it? I don't want to say it was JR, but I think either Tony Schiavone or probably Tony Schiavone, but it might have been Excalibur. They're like, I like this guy because just like me, he doesn't give a rat's ass most of the time. Wow. Thanks for letting us know that you don't care. What the fuck? Your job, Tony Schiavone or whoever it was, the announcer, your entire job is literally to pretend you care so that I care at home. That's your job. So for someone like Tony Schiavone, what a retard for him to say like, oh, I don't care, just like Orange Cassidy doesn't care. Oh, so the announcer doesn't care. The wrestler doesn't care. Who cares? I don't give a shit either. You know what I mean? So that laziness is embodied not just by Orange Cassidy, but by a lot of people in AEW. You know what I mean? By a lot of people that do lazy booking, lazy storylines. They abandon shit halfway through. Like, I understand that the Eric Rowan spider thing was kind of stupid. You know, I never liked it. And if you guys remember in all my Raw reviews, I'm like, who gives a shit what it is? If it's a spider or a ferret or, I don't know, a cat, a dog, a rat, who cares, right? It makes no difference, you know what I mean? What kind of animal, what kind of fauna it is, you know what I'm saying? So, but at least, even though it was really stupid and it turned Drew into an animal cruelty guy, like, at least they ended it by having the cage being crushed. You know what I mean? Like, it's over. It's done, motherfucks. Like, the cage has been crushed. The storyline was abandoned. It was aborted. Not like Brandy Rhodes, where we see these things on TV. We see a fat, like, spherical-looking man named Luther come out, and then Excalibur's like, oh, Luther, he's a deathmatch legend. No, he's not. He's a fat little ball. That's what he is. He's a ball. He looks like a testicle. You know what I'm saying? This guy comes out, and you know what? I should honestly reserve judgments for him because I never saw him wrestle, and I'm basing it on his look alone, and his look just didn't look intimidating. So, you know, maybe like he is a deathmatch legend. Who the fuck knows, right? But Luther comes out, right? Presumably, you know, looking forward to it. He's like, oh man, I've been signed by AEW. They shaved that chick's hair, right? And this is all so Brandy Rhodes can feel important. You know what I mean? She's like, I want my own storyline. Here, we're going to put 3 people behind. We're going to hire 3 people, and we're going to put them around you, right? And then what happens? She, like, bonks her head or whatever, right? And then the storyline is all like a figment of her imagination. And you know what? I talked about this in some comment, like, on YouTube. Like, I wrote a comment. I was like, this is so dumb. Like, this is retarded. Like, all of a sudden, Nightmare Collective is over. And then this neckbeard was like, he's like, they explained it as a figment of her imagination. Then he was like, watch, period, the, period, product, period. I'm like, what? I've watched every episode of AEW. And then I realized this asshole is talking about, like, oh, watch the YouTube channel and, like, the AEW dark, like, behind the scenes with Tony Schiavone and Aubrey Edwards. No, I'm not going to watch that shit. Watch the product. How about you fucking tell me on AEW Dynamite why Brandy Rhodes is not retarded anymore? You know what I mean? All of a sudden, she's not retarded. And like, I have to fill in the blanks myself. I have to go, like, buy the magazine. Go fuck yourselves. You know what I'm saying? So this is kind of laziness that plagues AEW. And the perfect embodiment of this is Orange Cassidy. Anyways, reason 8. Without a crowd, which I think tonight's episode will be without a crowd. I mean, I think it has to be, right? Without a crowd, he will fail completely. He will suck even more than he does, and he will be exposed. Imagine justifying a retard kicking someone slowly and lightly right? And not even having the fans be behind it, right? Just imagine this. I'll tell you guys this little story that I think I've said before. But when I was younger, I really liked rap. I still like rap. Rap's cool, you know what I'm saying? But I really liked hip hop. Now not so much because it's all these weirdos. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of weirdos like I can't get behind like whatever Little Nas X or all these like Da Baby, Lil Baby. Like shut the fuck up. Like no one's cool anymore, you know? So I can't get behind these jabrones. But back in the day, I liked rap a lot. You know, when I was in like late high school, early college, you know, I think rap was like still pretty good. And I remember my dad came to visit from Europe, motherfuckers, where I'm from, right? And he and I were watching TV, and I'm like, Dad, let's listen to some rap music. And my dad hates rap music, you know, pretty much like every European person his age, right? So I'm like, Dad, I'll show you that there's some good songs. So I changed the channel to MTV Jams, right? For all of you that don't know, MTV Jams is a station, or was, or is, I don't know, a station that shows like music videos that are pretty much, I think, all rap and R&B, mostly rap. So, but very rarely, every few hours, MTV Jams has like 2 or 3 commercials. So I changed the channel to MTV Jams, and it's on a commercial. And the commercial is some person being like, we have all the hottest songs. And then like it cuts to like a clip of Jim Jones. You know that Jim Jones song? We get money like na 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 na, right? So like it cuts to a clip of Jim Jones going na 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 na. And my dad looks at me and he's like, this is the garbage you're listening to? And I'm like, oh shit. Like what an inopportune moment to tune into the TV. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, even I was embarrassed. I'm like, yo, Dad, like rap is not all about Jim Jones going na 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 na. Even though that song's not bad, but you understand what I'm saying, right? Same thing. Imagine tonight, right? Orange Cassidy's doing his spot, and some unfortunate soul changes the channel, and they see Orange Cassidy doing this, and they're like, oh, this must be like wrestling for retarded people. You know, this must be like the Special Olympics of wrestling. There's no other explanation as to why this guy's kicking him so low. It's like one time I turned on TV, I saw wrestling. It was like some bullshit Mexican wrestling, right? It was like low impact. Like people were like pinning people after a vertical suplex. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, this is retarded, you know? And that's what people would think if they saw Orange Cassidy. If they see him, and at least the fans are going crazy, you can piece it together. You'd be like, oh, okay, this guy's like a comedy character, and the fans seem to like him. Therefore, like, he's fun, you know? But with no crowd, he will suck ass and be exposed. So if these idiots are smart, they're just not going to even put him on the show tonight. Or henceforth, you know? Reason number 9. If he were in WWE, all the fat smarks would be saying he is horrible and that Vince is out of touch. That's what they would be saying. They'd be saying, I can't believe Orange Cassidy is taking Hideo Itami's spot. Vince doesn't appreciate real wrestling from Japan. That's exactly what they would be saying, and all of you motherfucks know it. No one would like Orange Cassidy if he was in WWE. I would not like him either if he was in WWE. But all the smarks whose opinions are determined almost entirely as to where it happens. Not how it happens and how good it is, but where it happens, right? Like fucking Vance Archer, who's a jobber. Vance Archer is going to go to AEW, people are going to be like, wow, what a great signing. Same thing with Matt Hardy. Wow, what a great signing. Luke Harper, wow, WWE really misused him. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're going to say about everybody, right? It doesn't matter. Like, when Luke Harper gets signed to WWE, it was a big deal too. And then people realize, oh, okay, like, compared to, like, if you put him next to, like, Batista, right, or Randy Orton, you see that this guy is not as big. Well, I mean, he's a big guy, but he's not as intimidating looking because he's kind of, like, not that muscular. You know, Luke Harper is not that strong looking. So, it's that kind of stuff, right? Same thing, Vance Archer, like in AEW, he's gonna look like a giant, right? In WWE, he's a velocity jobber. He's like, I think he's one of the only people that's like 6'7", 6'8", that has been a velocity jobber immediately. You know, like even people like Snitsky and stuff like that, they had like a little bit of a push. They had like a run, you know? But Vance Archer, they're like, oh, we're gonna put you here, give you a reverse DDT finisher, put you in one video game with the lowest rating we could possibly give you, and then you're gonna start jobbing to like Santino, you know, and like fucking Kurt Hawkins, you know what I'm saying? So there you have it, motherfucks. If you were in WWE, Orange Cassidy, I'm saying, smarks would be like, man, this guy just has ruined wrestling. This guy's horrible. That's what they would say. Reason number 10, he's about 5'3" and 120 pounds. And that reason speaks for itself. Reason 11, he is often cited by people as being a compelling character. Very recently, I saw a comment on Facebook where someone who actually is a subscriber of mine, but on a different video, I saw this person, and they wrote, like, they were pretty much making fun of AEW. And they were saying how, like, everyone there is like a jobber and tiny, right? And then this one person was like, AEW makes stars. And then someone else was like, yo, what stars have they made? And people are like, Orange Cassidy's a star. I'm like, dude, Orange Cassidy's not a star. Orange Cassidy is a comedy jobber. But for some reason, he is always used as an example of a compelling character. People are like, oh, wow, like with characters like Orange Cassidy, AEW will surpass WWE one day. It'll never happen, motherfuckers. Never. All right. Anyways, reason 12. Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy is a stupid-ass name. First of all, what the fuck? Why is his name Orange Cassidy? All right? Come up with a better name. And then Freshly Squeezed Orange? It's orange juice that is squeezed. You know what I'm saying? You squeeze the orange and you get juice. The phrase is Freshly Squeezed Orange Juice. It would be better to call him, like, for example, Juice Robinson. You call him Freshly Squeezed Juice Robinson. That would sound better than Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy. Get the fuck out of here. Anyways, reason 13. His shtick will get old. In my opinion, it should have gotten old months before, but it will get old. And then what? What, are you going to repackage this guy as like a normal cruiserweight? He will be a jobber. You know what I'm saying? Waste of time completely. Reason 14. This is my personal favorite reason. Reason 14. People dress like him, and it's fucking weird, motherfuckers. If you look at there was that one kid that dressed like him. That was kind of funny because he was a kid. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, like, we didn't know anything about Orange Cassidy at the time, and the kid was cool. So, like, he's a kid, you know, it's cute, right? But now you have all these fat beards. You have, like, fat Orange Cassidy. Like, weird-looking Orange Cassidy. Lanky Orange Cassidy. They're all, like, weird-looking motherfucks, man. You know, they dress like him for some reason. Like, first of all, dressing like wrestlers is fucking cringy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only wrestler that it might be okay to dress as is like Hulk Hogan. That's it, because it's like he's such a mainstream guy, right? That it's like, oh shit, like Hulk Hogan, like that's kind of like, haha, isn't that funny? Like, brother, you know what I'm saying? That kind of shit, right? But when people dress like fucking like normal wrestlers, it's weird. Or maybe like if you want to wear like a robe like Ric Flair, yeah, cool. But I don't understand this. Like one of my friends from law school, like he went to WrestleMania as well, but like not with me. And he was saying, he was like, man, he's like, I saw these guys, and he was presenting it to me as if it was something cool. He was like, I saw these two guys. One was dressed like Hogan, and one was dressed like Macho Man Randy Savage, right? And they didn't know each other either, and they met each other, and they reenacted an entire match in the parking lot, and people were like losing their minds. And I'm just like, dude, this is fucking weird. It is weird, man. I saw this one time. I went to see a movie, and it was like Deadpool or something, and I know, oh, Deadpool's great. I watched it. I'm like, this isn't funny. It's not as funny as people made it seem to be, right? But anyways, I went to see Deadpool, and there was a guy dressed as Deadpool. This was like when the first movie came out, right? Nobody knows who Deadpool is. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knew who the fuck that guy was. People are like, oh, the movie is going to be true to the comics. You've never read the comics. What the fuck are you talking about? You know? But this guy was dressed like Deadpool, and he was doing like a choreographed martial arts type of thing, right? And people were watching. And then before that, when Harry Potter, like 3 or whatever, I never read Harry Potter, because here's my experience with Harry Potter. I was in an airplane. I was like 14. I was a little older than I should have been, right? I bought Harry Potter 1 thinking it was going to be this amazing thing. I read 14 pages, and they're like, and then Harry Potter was abandoned with his uncle, like aunt and his cousin Dudley, who is fat or whatever. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I put the book down. I never read it again. So anyways, when Harry Potter came out, all these people were dressed like wizards and witches. Like, I'm not talking about kids here. I'm talking about people and they're who are like 18 and above, dressing up like witches and warlocks, motherfucks, to go watch Harry Potter. Now, if that were my child, and I said, hey, little child, where are you going this Friday night? And the child said, oh, I don't know, Dad. I'm going to dress up as a witch and go see Harry Potter. I said, you were doing no such thing. You're grounded. Get in your room, jabroni. That's what I would say to my son or my daughter, you know? Just like the Eddie Guerrero skit. But Papa, why? Shut up! You know what I'm saying? So there you go. People dress like him, and it makes me sick. Reason 15. He is in a stable with the best friends, and the stable is dumb and has no actual gimmick. Their gimmick is they're a stable. It's a stable. Why don't they just make a stable called The Stable? The end. Think about that, right? Oh, best friends. Get the fuck out of here. 16. Reason 16. He is small, even by AEW standards. You know, as Jim Cornette calls it, all petite wrestling, right? Like, this guy he's too small for that. And another thing, you know, here's another thing that people were talking about now. Recently, people were talking about, oh, Dash and Dawson are going to, join AEW. They should be in a stable with MJF, or like someone was like, we should be in a stable with Pac. And someone was like, what? The 5'3" stable? The 5'5" stable? What the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Who the hell even likes the Revival anymore? You know, they were cool in NXT because like they were putting on good matches, right? Because they had like 30 minutes. But any tag team can do that. Any tag team can put on a 30-minute match. The Revival is just two short, fat guys, right? That's with no charisma. What is so great about them? You know, they suck, Mago. That's what I think about that. Anyways, yeah, reason 17. Orange Cassidy versus Pac was treated like a big deal, even though Pac is a pre-show cuck, right? He's a pre-show jobber in WWE, a 205 Live jobber, right? Who lost to Enzo Amore, and now he's wrestling Orange Cassidy, which brings me to the real point of this reason 17, right? When Pac lost a match to Enzo Amore, who's like 6'1", right, and has infinitely more charisma than Orange Cassidy. When he lost that match to Enzo Amore, right, people were like, oh my God, how could they do this to Pac? How could they have the vanilla midget lose to the more charismatic guy who can't wrestle as well? How could they do this? You know what I'm saying? And, fine, fair point, you know, but how do you reconcile that, right, with him wrestling Orange Cassidy and Orange Cassidy being treated as like an equal to him? You know, who's more of a goofy character, motherfucks? Enzo Amore or Orange Cassidy? Who is more of a joke? Right? And he had a match with him on pay-per-view. It wasn't on some pre-show or 205 Live. He had a match with him on pay-per-view, and people were looking forward to it. This is the hypocrisy that I'm talking about of the AEW fan. Oh, him losing to Enzo Amore? That's not fair. That's not him almost losing to Orange Cassidy. Yeah, push Orange Cassidy. Get the fuck out of here, dumb fucks. Anyways, reason 18. He is a jobber, motherfucks. He's a jobber. Reason 19. He looks like a nerd. Now, this will take me to another little side rant, motherfuck. I'm gonna put this in the description. Side rant city. But anyways, nerdiness is something that we need to really address, right? I keep going on YouTube, and for some reason, YouTube keeps trying to get me to watch a 6-man Street Fighter match or whatever the fuck it is. The New Day versus the Elite. Kenny Omega and the Young Cucks, right? Now I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck would I want to watch this, right? I don't even want to watch people who are good at Street Fighter play Street Fighter. I don't want to watch these D-list celebrities play Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying? But the real issue here is that people like New Day, they really have done a lot to ruin wrestling. I mean, I didn't even think of this until now, but they really have done a lot. They have mainstreamed being a nerd, right? And presenting it as if it's cool. It's not cool, motherfucks. Kofi Kingston is not a cool guy, right? Big E, he's a funny dude. You know, I give it to him. He's funny. And in my opinion, he's being held back by these two cuckolds, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Xavier Woods, this guy is like a stereotypical nerd. He is like, if you go to like a Japanese anime store and you wait around a little bit, you will see an Xavier Woods in about an hour. You will see one. There's always people like that there. Like this kind of guy who's like, oh, I appreciate Japanese culture. This fucking cuck, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're trying to mainstream being a nerd, right? And with that, the other side of the coin is you're trying to kill masculinity, right? Because there's something kind of not masculine about being a nerd, right? So the only people that are left that are smart enough to see this happening, let's say, for example, I don't know, motherfucks, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, he sees this and he's like, all right, we have done such a good job presenting Kofi Kingston as a nerd, right? For years, he has been a nerd who comes out dressed as Goku from Dragon Ball, who throws pancakes, and who talks about bootios, right? We have done so much to make this guy appeal to our retarded nerd demographic, right? So he's like, all right, it's time for this guy to drop the title to Brock Lesnar. On the other hand, we have spent so much time presenting Brock Lesnar as pretty much the ultimate man, right? Like ultimate masculinity, like toxic masculinity in a human being, like turned into a human, is Brock Lesnar. So he's like, all right, now the biggest nerd in the world is going to fight the biggest jock in the world. What should happen? People are like, the nerd should have a 30-minute match with the jock. No, here's what's going to happen. Just like in high school, Brock Lesnar will grab this guy, he'll F5 him, and he'll pin him 1, 2, 3, right? So people like Brock Lesnar and other people like maybe like Randy Orton, Cena when he's around, Drew McIntyre, Goldberg, these people that are actually masculine, Keith Lee, Fucking, who else? Braun Strowman to a lesser extent. But you know what I'm saying? These people that are actually masculine, right? They compensate for people like Sami Zayn and Nakamura and New Day, right? We need people that are still cool. You know what I'm saying? Drew McIntyre is cool. Brock Lesnar is the coolest, right? And in my opinion, motherfuckers, if Brock Lesnar sticks around for 5 or 6 more years and is booked the same way he's booked now and does what he's doing now, I don't even think there's any argument that Brock Lesnar becomes the greatest wrestler of all time. But that remains to be seen. We'll deal with that another day, motherfuckers. Anyways, now we've got reason 20. Reason 20. Orange Cassidy has never spoken on the mic, and he rarely wrestles. So what the fuck does he bring to the table? I know I've gone on a lot of little side rants, but I'm enjoying them, so I hope you guys are enjoying them as well. I almost forgot that this is a video about Orange Cassidy up in this bitch. But anyways, and it's going to be a lot longer than I thought it would be, but it is what it is, right? So, this guy never speaks. He's never spoken on the mic, right? And he rarely wrestles. But I'm sure that people will say, oh, Orange Cassidy's so charismatic. Because like one time when I saw the Royal Rumble, the one that Nakamura won, and the people around me were like this one nerd from England, this like skinny, lanky little nerd beard, and this white guy and this black guy who were friends, who were in front of me, who were also neckbeards. But they were cool. They were like the white guy and the black guy, they were nice. Like they were like me and them would shoot the shit. Like the black guy was like, oh man, he's like, Finn Balor is so great. And I'm like, what makes Finn Balor better than Apollo Crews? And he's like, oh, Apollo Crews sucks. But we were chatting it up. The nerd next to me, this guy was like another level of beard, right? And he was saying, I was like, Nakamura has no charisma. He's like, well, everyone is chanting for his song, so he has charisma. Yeah, a lot of people chant for Orange Cassidy, motherfucks, right? And a lot of people will say he's charismatic, but he's fucking not. You know what I'm saying? Just because you can get over, right? And people can chant your shit because it's well produced or well thought out, doesn't mean that you yourself are charismatic. Like one guy was trying to argue with me. He's like, Pentagon is charismatic. I'm like, what? Pentagon is a fat guy on a mask who only says cero miedo, right? What charisma? Where did you see this charisma? Yeah. What makes it more charismatic than Lindsay Dorado? You know what I'm saying? Just have Lindsay Dorado say zero miedo, and then we're good to go, right? He's just a guy in a mask. He hasn't done anything that exudes charisma. Now, I will say, in Lucha Underground, he was a compelling character because he was out there doing some vile shit, breaking people's arms. Now he's just another luchador, you know? Except he's fat too. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. That's what I think about him being a nerd and not speaking on the mic. Reason 21. From a kayfabe perspective, Orange Cassidy should be fired. In what job can you go, not try, and not care, and still have a job? In what job can that happen, right? Cody Rhodes, Cucky Rhodes said when they founded AEW, he said that it will have a real sports feel. No, motherfucks. Because in real sports, people never stop trying, and they never stop caring. Like, have you seen those like NBA games where a team's down like 15 points, and there's like a minute and a half, and they still play until there's a few seconds left? And then they give up, kind of, right? Or in football, right? Like, people play until it's done. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're winning, like, if a team is up by 35 points in football and there's 5 minutes left, right? They'll still try to get first downs. You know? Like, they won't take 4 knees and punt, right? That rarely happens. Like, they're still competitive. You know? Part of that is because they have to, because it has to be entertaining. But part of that is also their competitive spirit, because they've been competing their entire lives in the sport, right? Orange Cassidy doesn't try. He doesn't care. He still has a job, which gives way to the argument that AEW not only does not have a real sports feel, but it's the exact opposite of that. Cuckolds. All right. Reason 22. He is reframing what an over wrestler, if you will, or a cool wrestler is, and he is doing it for the worst. Now that we have Orange Cassidy, there will be other people that do Orange Cassidy things. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people that decide that they want to be the next Orange Cassidy. And there will come a point where this goofiness will just overwhelm us, right? First, we had Joey Ryan, that idiot who does a dick flip or whatever. Now he's like, he has like a right to censor gimmick in TNA, right? Which is like stupid. Because, dude, you're a dude that would do dick flips, right? And like now he's all serious and he's like, and he like teased doing a dick flip and he's like, oh, no more of that. Like, oh, no, I don't want to see it. Like, I think it's a better character to be like a right to censor guy than it is to be, you know, a dick flipping sub bitch, you know? But the problem is people are going to imitate Joey Ryan. People are going to imitate Orange Cassidy because they are reframing what it is to be cool, and it's not good. Reason 23. He's not funny, motherfuckers. He's not funny. The things that he does aren't funny. Like, it's one thing for him to do the same thing over and over again, and it's hilarious, you know? You can probably put on some Andrew Dice Clay and laugh right now, right? No matter what, right? It's still funny, right? You know, hickory dickory dock, some chick was sucking my cock. You know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of stuff, it'll always get a chuckle, right? But Orange Cassidy, he wasn't funny. Like, maybe a slight chuckle the first time, but he's not funny at all. You know what I'm saying? That's what I gotta say about that. Reason 24. This is, I know I've said this for a few of them, but this is by far my most pet peevish reason. So we'll actually leave reason 24 for last. It will now become reason 25. And we will go with this as reason 24. Some people want Orange Cassidy to get a push. Reason 24, motherfucker. Some people want him to get a push. I will never understand this. It makes absolutely no sense to me, right? They want this guy to get a push because he's over. That's retarded. Someone can be over, but they'll never be a good champion. An example of that would be Orange Cassidy, guys. And finally, reason 25, the thing that irks you the most. People often say about Orange Cassidy, oh, you just don't get it. Oh, you just don't get it. You don't get freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. I actually had one of my friends say this to my other friend. He was like, dude, do you not get freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy? And he's like, hater. I mean, he called me by my real name, but he's like, hater. He's like, this guy doesn't understand. He doesn't get Orange Cassidy. And I'm like, oh, of course he doesn't. Orange Cassidy sucks. You know? And then we started a debate about Orange Cassidy. But that argument of you just don't get it is such a pretentious asshole argument, right? That is so overused, right? You can use it for things that are overtly complicated. Like if someone's out here discussing like the motivations behind Dostoevsky characters, you're like, you just don't get it, dude. Like, let me explain it to you, right? But fucking Orange Cassidy, this is like on the same level of like Rick and Morty, you know? Rick and Morty, people are like, oh, you don't get it. You have to know physics to understand. You don't. You know? It's about an alcoholic guy who's a genius with his stupid grandson. That's what the show's about, you know? Rick like farts and burps and becomes a pickle. And people are like, oh, you don't get it. It's so complicated. It's not complicated. Same thing with Orange Cassidy. You just don't get it. There's no getting it, right? You look at this asshole and you either think to yourself, he's cool or he sucks, motherfuckers. That's what happens. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's like, all right, this guy's either going to be enjoyable or he's not. You cannot explain to someone why Orange Cassidy is cool. Because if you try to, the explanation would sound something like this. Oh, he's a guy, he's a wrestler, and his gimmick is that he doesn't really care. People would be like, what? Why doesn't he care? Well, that's just his gimmick. Oh, why is that his gimmick? It's a stupid gimmick. And then you'd be stuck. You'd be like, oh, I don't know. That's what they thought was cool. So there you go, motherfuckers. That's reason 25. And this has been 25 reasons why Orange Cassidy sucks. Now it's about 3:20 up in this bitch. But don't worry. I will see you guys later on tonight for, a good old AEW review. I am actually looking forward to seeing how this show is going to be. Cuckolds! See ya, fucks!